Good morning, early this morning. Good morning. We're ahead of the sunrise this morning for a very simple fact that I have a group of visitors to look after at 6 a.m. They asked for a special little deal this morning because of their schedule, and our pilgrims are our first priority, I must say, even though I'm not trying to make you a second priority, but they are here, so I need to look after them. And a little consolation, if we don't see the sunrise, is we see the moon setting. And yesterday morning we caught the moon just as it was going behind Mount Arbel, so you can see the delay the moon has every day. It has a different pattern. It's a shorter orbit, obviously, a different orbit. So there we have the joy of seeing the moon right over this palm tree here as it sets, and it's such an important gift for life on our planet, for the tides of the oceans, and for the force of gravity that stabilizes the Earth in its orbit. But one thing we get to see now are the birds kicking off before sunrise. Come on, there we go. And this is it's a regular feature. It's a wake-up call. The birds are very regular as they wake up. I'm not sure if they decide that they're too tired and they can push the snoozer, but they're in action already, surveying their realms. And we'll do a very short little comment today because I've got 15 minutes. I want to get in the Instagram as well, and I need to post these things, and the YouTube might be a bit later this morning because of the hour and more that I'll spend with our pilgrims from 6 on. So I'll just give one major thought, I think, that strikes me. I'm sure when you read the scriptures, other things will strike you, and that's wonderful. Let yourself enjoy the inspirations God gives and the questions He raises in your heart about so many different dimensions, understanding, but also about knowing yourself. And the point that really astonishes me today, and I was going to comment that yesterday as well, and we were at the end of the book of Exodus yesterday, chapter 40, and today we're at the beginning of Leviticus. So the whole Exodus story climaxes with the presence of God filling the dwelling, which would later be the temple, and which we eventually understand as our own person, that God fills our own person with His presence. We are His temple. And this is the purpose then of freedom. The purpose of freedom is to worship God, to be free to worship God. And the constraints against that might not just be political. They might be addictions, they might be bad habits, they might be bad relationships that really are causing a huge disorder in our lives, that relationships we shouldn't have gone into through a misuse of our freedom. Our freedom is for worship. Relationships to work, attachments to material goods, greed, jealousies, hostilities, even violence, verbal violence, psychological violence, social violence, and then physical violence to the point of outright war between peoples, between persons in the kitchen, between peoples on the international scene. To be free to worship, to be free to truly be at peace in our hearts to worship God. Freedom is for worship. Isn't that amazing? In our world of bounty, of nature, of goodness, we are free to worship, to become free to worship. And actually, it's the time of vacations in the Northern Hemisphere when people are, because of pleasant weather, are out in the nature, experiencing that, to discover freedom to worship again, to breathe, to relax, away from the drudgeries. And there are some drudgeries that we can't get totally free from. Somebody who's very sick in the family, who needs a lot of care. And those are also part of our offering to the Lord. Even when we're in slavery, we can offer to the Lord our sufferings, and that He will take us to a fullness of freedom for worship, the communion with God. Amazing purpose of human life. Sing to the Lord, sing with joy to God our help. And you know, at the beginning of humanity, Cain was upset about his defective worship, and he became so envious of Abel. Worship is key for humanity. How is your worship? How do you worship God? Fascinated also by another thought in the readings is, it seems to be that Sunday was an important day on the Jewish calendar, because it's the day after the Sabbath. For the Pentecost celebrations, we have all those festivities that are listed in today's reading. Well, that's a big thought and needs a little bit of research, and maybe some people have written about it already. It'd be kind of interesting to know about that. And then we're starting a new chapter, or we're taking a snippet from a chapter out of Matthew. Am I on the right day here? Just give me a second here. No, I'm the right day. So what happened here? We're in chapter 13 of Matthew. Let me see here what it says. Oh, it's the rejection of Jesus in Nazareth. Well, that's a whole theme in itself. How God puts Himself in that position. The incarnate Word. This is humanity, people. We always have possible struggles to work with. Possible conflicts in our heart and our soul. With others, understanding, opening our heart and mind to surprises God brings in our lives. Jealousies, envies. Life has its demands in our heart to free us. Let's leave it like that for today, and I'll do a quick Instagram post and do the editing later on, God willing. And thank you for joining. Pray for us, pray for these pilgrims who are here. And see you later, alligators. That's a nice closing shot. God bless you.